Welcome. You know, in the world we live in today, taking a business international isn't just an option anymore. It's become a core part of any real strategy for growth. So the big question is, how do you navigate this incredibly complex, but also incredibly rewarding world of international marketing? All right, let's jump right in and figure it out together.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by really defining the playing field, what this interconnected world actually looks like. Then we'll get into why going global is pretty much a must these days. We'll unpack 4 key strategic mindsets, explore the central dilemma every single marketer faces, and then, and this is the fun part, we'll see how the biggest brands on the planet solve it all with a really cool concept called globalization.
Okay, so to get started, we really need to be on the same page about what we mean when we say globalization. It's a word that gets thrown around all the time, right? But from a strategic standpoint, what does it actually mean for a business?
This classic definition from Anthony Giddens really gets to the heart of it. See, globalization isn't just about shipping products or money across borders. It's about our social fabric becoming so intertwined that something happening thousands of miles away can directly shape your local reality. And, this is the key part, vice versa.
And these connections are really driven by 3 powerful forces that are all woven together. You've got the economy, right? How we make, trade, and buy things across the globe. Then there's the polity, which is all the political stuff, the laws and power structures that either bring nations together or keep them apart. And of course, there's culture, that constant global flow of ideas, music, fashion, and values.
Understanding these forces is so important because they basically created a business world where just staying put in your home market is no longer a safe strategy. It's become a global imperative to think bigger.
And wow, this number just says it all. For a giant like Coca-Cola, a whopping 3/4 of its operating income comes from outside its home turf in North America. The global stage isn't just a piece of their business. For many huge companies, it is the business.
So, here's the crucial takeaway. You really can't hide from global competition. If you decide to just stay local, your home market can get crowded, and that's going to cap your growth. And guess what? Even if you don't go abroad, foreign competitors are absolutely coming to you. Over time, that can seriously weaken your competitiveness, and you'll miss out on the chance to build a truly powerful global brand.
So, how do companies actually tackle this global imperative? Well, when a business decides to go international, it usually evolves through one of 4 different mindsets. There's a really handy model for this called the EPRG framework. First up, you have the ethnocentric mindset. This is basically the my way or the highway approach. A company with this view thinks its home country's way of doing business is just better. So they export their strategy, their products, their ads with almost no changes, assuming what works at home is going to work everywhere else. Then, usually after a few tough lessons, a company might swing to the total opposite extreme, the polycentric approach. Here, the thinking is that every single country is so unique that it needs its own separate strategy built from the ground up. This is great for local managers, but it can create a really fragmented brand, and you lose out on all those global efficiencies. A more mature approach is the regiocentric mindset. This is where a company slices the world into bigger chunks, like Europe or Latin America. They'll coordinate their strategy within that region, but not necessarily across different regions. It's a pretty practical middle ground, but it can still lead to silos where great ideas don't get shared between different parts of the world. And finally, we get to the most evolved and, frankly, the most effective mindset, the geocentric approach. This is really the heart and soul of modern international marketing. It sees the whole world as a single, integrated market. A geocentric company wants to build a global strategy by taking the best ideas from anywhere, standardizing what it can for efficiency, while adapting where it has to for local relevance. And that geocentric mindset, that idea of balancing standardization and adaptation, brings us straight to the fundamental tension, the central dilemma that keeps international marketers up at night.
And here is that big question. Do we standardize everything, our products, our ads, our message, across the globe to get maximum efficiency and scale? Or do we adapt it for every single market to create maximum local relevance and connect with customers?
It's a really tough trade-off. I mean, look at the benefits. Standardization means lower costs, you can roll out products way faster, and your whole strategy is just simpler. But on the other hand, adaptation lets you connect more deeply with your customers, it helps you navigate different cultural and legal rules, and it can help you break into a new market so much faster.
So, how do you solve this puzzle? You can't just pick one side. The world's most successful global companies have figured out a way to do both, and they do it through a really powerful hybrid concept.
And that concept is called globalization. It's literally global and local smashed together. It's a strategy where you create products and services for a global market, but then you fine-tune them, you tweak them, to fit perfectly into local cultures and behaviors.
The entire philosophy of globalization can be boiled down to one simple, incredibly powerful phrase: think global, act local. It means you have this unified, geocentric vision for your brand, but you execute that vision with tailored, smart, on-the-ground tactics that feel local.
Now, I know this might still sound a bit abstract, but trust me, it is happening all around us every single day. So let's make this real. Let's look at a few fantastic examples of how major brands bring globalization to life.
Okay, check this out. It's Persil laundry detergent. On the left, you've got the European packaging. It's got strong lines, a big handle, it feels very gender neutral. Now look at the right. For the Arabic market, the packaging features a woman and has a smaller handle. The soap inside is the exact same, but the design is completely adapted based on different cultural ideas about who typically does the laundry.
Here's another amazing example, this time with a perfume ad. In the French version on the left, the woman is an active, empowered equal in the whole interaction. But in the version for the Arabic world on the right, the dynamic is totally different. The man is presented as a symbol of power, and the woman's touch is this soft, gentle gesture of seduction. Same perfume, but they are telling a completely different story based on cultural context.
And one more. Let's look at cognac. In France, the ad on the left shows friends hanging out in a bar, socializing. The drink is about connection, about having fun. But for the very same product in China, look at the ad on the right. It puts the cognac right in the middle of a family meal. Food is a huge part of the picture, and the drink becomes a symbol of status and family togetherness. The entire meaning of the drink is transformed.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. You know, the world is a fascinatingly strange place right now. It's becoming more globally connected and, at the same time, more locally fragmented. So the real question for every marketer out there is this: how do you strike that perfect, constantly shifting balance between global scale and local soul? Because the brands that figure that out, well, those are the ones that are going to own the future.